The global financial crisis is bad news for media organisations already under threat from new technologies. It's killed off some and many more are struggling. So what about our local independent media? Today we profile two Adelaide magazines and their fight against the GFC.
Well, it's a global financial crisis. We don't know what it will bring, but there's definitely been a downturn since the end of the fringe.
We're feeling quite good about our financial situation at the moment. Advertising is on the increase, so yeah, we're feeling pretty safe about things at the moment.
Yeah, the GFC has affected us, but more from an editorial standpoint. We've had to cover it. In terms of the business, it hasn't had a huge effect.
Well, obviously with less tours coming in and slightly less revenue, a few pages get cut from editions, but that happens anyway in winter as things quieten down.
DB Magazine and Merge Magazine are two of Adelaide's best-known street publications. Merge is by far the younger at just 2 years old, but GFC aside, the three young publishers seem to be coping well with their demanding jobs.
That's a full-time job. We work 9 to 5 all throughout the week, and then when the deadline gets near, we sometimes work 36-hour days. So it gets a bit intense sometimes.
We went into magazine publishing simply because we didn't know the realities that were involved with publishing a magazine. We were stupid and naive and thought we could do it better than anyone else.
The production process has changed in terms of we're now delegating a lot more work, which means getting a lot of people writing for us on a volunteer basis.
We started out on pulp paper, which is your newspaper stock, and we made the move 6 months ago to glossy. And the change basically has just been in reproduction values, and we're incredibly happy with that change. But everything we're using, the computers, the software, everything's the same. We're just getting better at using it.
Approaching its 18th birthday, DB Magazine has changed markedly from its first edition, which featured just 2 colours and hand-sliced artwork.
Essentially, DB Magazine was started because local bands, local artists, local theatre groups and so on couldn't get coverage in their local media. Truthfully, it was more likely that you'd read a story on Mariah Carey's new album or her marriage breakup or something than you ever would about a local band who just released their debut album, for example. The magazine was launched pretty much at the start of desktop publishing and the revolution that went with that. And we started out with one computer and no laser printer, no nothing else. Writing a story was difficult, and often enough people turned up with floppy disks, with their articles, and things that didn't work, or disks that corrupted, or simple technological things like that.
But it's not just production techniques that have changed, so has Adelaide and especially youth culture.
Well, there's certainly been a decentralisation of youth culture. It's moved down to the suburbs and been more centred on malls, and that means that community centres are playing a more important part in local bands. I find writers to go out to these various community centres. So, for instance, it didn't matter in previous times whether I had a writer based in Elizabeth, whereas now that's quite a useful thing to have.
Publishing monthly, life is a constant for Merge Magazine, so how does Adelaide's events calendar work for them, given so much happens early in the year?
It has an effect because there's more ad spend, but really with the format of the magazine and the timing, us being a monthly, it hasn't got a huge effect overall, and we're hungry for finding the best events over the course of the whole year.
We do keep the same amount of pages and generally the same amount of writers all year round, and it is part of our purpose with the magazine to, find things to do in Adelaide year round, so we're not really fishing for content at all.
Merge hasn't been affected by the GFC basically because things couldn't get worse for us when it started hitting anyway.
We have only started up as a magazine coinciding with when the GFC started. So there's really only one way for us to go, and that's up in terms of advertising dollars.
So essentially we started at the bottom.
We definitely do have ambitions to make this a long-term project. It's what myself and my team are passionate about, and we have ambitions to be working in this field and hopefully for this magazine for a very long time to come.
As for DB, 18 years young in October, can it hold ground against young rivals like Merge and see out another decade?
Adelaide's a small market for sure, but different publications can coexist. Merge and DB can coexist. They're very much a lifestyle-based magazine, and we focus on entertainment.
There's not a lot of overlap editorially with what we're trying to do at Merge and other Adelaide street press, such as DB, because they're more concerned with music and being gig guides and that kind of thing. So I think we all can coexist quite peacefully.
We've got no plans to go anywhere. There's a different story to tell with each and every edition of DB, so it's as simple as that.
As long as people are picking up free press, giving writers a chance, and it's a great chance for advertisers to reach those people as well. I think that the more street press, the better, really.